your opinion on the criticism that GPT uses a lot of energy. Do you have an energy problem? I think technology fixes everything. We do not have an energy problem. We have a policy problem. So if you spend about 50 to 100 billion worth of retrofits and R&D over a 10, 20-year period, every coal plant in America and frankly the world, you could change over to a low emission plant that gives very little emission. The waste product, fly ash, you can put into concrete, get rid of most of the Portland cement. You have what's called geopolymer concrete. These two things would reduce the global carbon output by double digits. Just those two things. And you'd have unlimited power for the next 300 years if you wanted it, while we wait for advancements in geothermal and nuclear, which are the two backbone energies that we need. That's just a fact. And you got a bunch of people running around trying to convince you otherwise, but that's where we're at. And you can easily do that, but we don't. Instead, what we choose to do is say, go to these technologies that have first dispatchability issues and intermittency issues. And then somehow we're going to solve the energy storage problem, which is orders of magnitude more complicated than the carbon capture problem. Okay. So what we're doing is we're moving to a world of artificial scarcity so that it can be used like all the other things in artificial scarcity to control you, your business, and your day-to-day lived experience. That's what they're doing under the hood. They don't need to do it. We could do completely different things, and there's tons of incredibly innovative companies and projects. For example, well, let me give you one of them. We've been doing a lot of links today, haven't we? It's been a good learning day. So check this out. How about Ever? Look at that. One of the coolest companies in the world. So you have baseload dispatchable, completely carbon-free, no aquifer, no fracking, no earthquake risk, no water use, power. How's it work? You have a very small little geothermal plant. You dig real far down, usually about 20 to 30,000 feet. And you build a big radiator and you run a closed loop system. Put some ethylene glycol or some material down and it cycles through. Down comes the cold, up comes the hot, and you're extracting gigawatts of heat. And then you can use that to produce as much energy as you want. And you don't have to put this in a geothermal field. You take advantage of the geothermal gradient. So the geothermal gradient is that when you dig down, it gets hotter. Okay. The core of the earth is extremely hot. So an enormous amount of energy radiates into the earth. And by the time you get around here, the crust, it's pretty cool, all things considered. But if you dig deep, 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 then every kilometer you go down, you go from 20 to 70 degrees Celsius, depending upon the gradient that you have. Okay. Put these anywhere in the world. And they are, and they're designing these types of things. And they've shown you can generate electricity. Well, if I have only an acre here for something that extracts gigawatts of power and last 100 years before the reservoir needs to regenerate, isn't this like the idealized power? Yeah, Nikola Tesla even talked about this at the turn of the century. He said, like, everything will be geothermal one day. And right here's the first commercial project they're building. Look how small that is to power an entire community. No windmills, no solar, none of these things. And it's dispatchable, no carbon output, and it's completely self-contained. That's the scam. You see, there's so much great technology. Politicians don't want to hear it. They don't want to deal with it. They want to sell you a load of crap. And they try to push us towards solutions that are not base load. They don't have dispatchability. They're intermittent and require energy storage solutions we don't have. And we can easily, as a society, within 10 years, embrace a stopgap that most people would be happy with and also solve the concrete problem at the same time. You say, but Charles, what's this geopolymer concrete all about? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go do that. So let's take a look at geopolymer concrete, shall we? Actually going to be using it in my clinic for phase 2. Wow, there we go. Geopolymer concrete. How about that? Amazing things happen at the intersection of imagination and technology. True workable geopolymer concrete that is heat and chemical resistant. Well, I got to read more. Tell me more about that. Acid resistant, CFC RFP 250. So basically, you take fly ash and a bunch of other shit, you mix it in, with your normal concrete, and then somehow you make geopolymer concrete. And because you're putting a waste product, you're sequestering enormous amounts of carbon. And because you're getting that waste product as part of an energy generation play, you're not using all the energy to make concrete, which is the number one climate producer around. You see, corrosion resistant, heat and chemical resistant, the cut time, strength. Well, let's take a look at some of the numbers here. We can customize the strength of our concrete to as high as 20,000 psi. How about that? The ultimate strength can be achieved within 2 hours using electrical treatment, or 4 to 6 hours using heat. The 28-day strength test of normal curing. Holy shit. How about that? Great stuff, geopolymer concrete. And why is it green? Well, it's green because you're putting waste products in it. Geopolymer concrete, the economical, more durable, and environmentally friendly concrete with a carbon footprint of only 10% of Portland cement. 10%. How about that? Our product is made by recycling waste fly ash from ground granulated blast furnace slag and other naturally occurring materials from around the world. We offer tremendous environmental benefits, decreasing the CO2 output, energy reduction, preservation of virgin resources, reduced landfill, and massive water savings. How about that? The production of geopolymer cement does not require heating at all. Instead, various minerals and silicates are blended together, resulting in a cement that is significantly higher quality than Portland cement. It's right there. It's all ready to go. Easy peasy lemon breezy. Same cost, too. So do we have an energy problem? No, we have a ignorance problem. You see, get a stopgap, get off the bad concrete, get on the good concrete, and let's get into hydrogen battery powered cars. Okay? Solves all your problems in the short term, and dump a lot of money into fourth generation nuclear and a lot of money into getting Ever and these other geothermal plants ready to go. And guess what? Within 30 to 40 years, it's a solved problem. And you have unlimited energy for everybody in the world. And we're all good to go. And it's clean. It's completely carbon zero. Or we can continue to dump gargantuan amounts of money into windmills that make the Wyoming countryside ugly, to huge amounts of solar manufactured by China, and strip mine lithium with kids in Congo doing all that work and disposed of when they're inconvenient, and pretend that we're being ecologically friendly, as we now have rolling blackouts in California and high energy costs. You can do that instead. How about that? Plus, you still have Portland cement, which means that your carbon output is still substantially higher. Ay, 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 ay. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to talk about solutions. They want to talk about problems, and they want to tell you their favorite pet political solution because it feels good, but they don't actually talk about facts.